Thank you guys so much for the love you shown the podcast that I do with my friends Bailey and Dylan. We are now on Apple Podcasts. I'll leave a link in the description. We're on Apple and Spotify. Follow our Twitter and Instagram pages. We are the Weekly Shoot Around. Thank you guys so much. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy B Date back for another video. This one's in the wife beater, the little fresh out the pin tee. Don't worry about it too much. But as you can tell by this video, we are going to be talking about one of the weirdest teams to me. We're going to be talking about the Utah Jazz. They've recently been struggling. They're 4-7 in their last 11 games. Pardon me. And like I said, they're just a weird team. Coming into the season, they were a lot of people's dark horse finals team, just because it was the year of the duos with KD leaving Golden State and Klay Thompson being out for the year. So it felt in the NBA, and it still feels more wide open than ever. You have just Western Conference teams alone. You have the duos of LeBron, AD. You have Harden, Westbrook. You got Luka, Porzingis. You got Kawhi, Paul George. You got Jokic, Murray. And then you've got Gobert and Mitchell. They deserve respect in that duo category as well. And what separated them and why people were picking them as a dark horse finals team was the additions they made in the offseason. They picked up Mike Conley in a trade. They went out and got Bojan Bogdanovic, who at the beginning of the year was shooting the lights out. And it really helped, at least on paper, it helped the idea that Mitchell didn't have to do everything, didn't have to carry such a big load, and Conley and Bojan and Ingles could secondary play make and make his life a little bit easier. They would have all that space around Rudy Gobert, and things would just be free-flowing, right? And to a certain extent, it has been. This is such a weird team, like I said. They're currently 4th in the NBA in field goal percentage, which is great. And they are 1st in the league in three-point percentage, 38.5%. That's very good for a team to be shooting. So, on paper, kind of translated to the offensive side of the ball. Gobert is setting that high ball screen for Mitchell, and there's just space all around the floor. And what's happening, more so than not watching them play, you sink down on Gobert, take away his lob. You don't want Mitchell to get hot attacking, so there's a bunch of open threes that are created throughout the game by Mitchell. And, they've been hitting them at a high clip. The problem is they're not shooting enough. They're only 15th in the NBA in three-point attempts per game. And like I said, this is just such a weird team because, to me, none of that offensive stuff matters. Their problem lies defensively. They're last in the NBA in steals, second to last in the NBA in blocks. And that's with Rudy Gobert on your team. If you have a guy who's constantly in the Defensive Player of the Year running, to be last in steals is weird to me because normally you can take a few extra chances when you have a great shot blocker behind you. You can be a little more aggressive in passing lanes, but the Jazz, I don't know if it's a personnel thing or if it's an attitude, like we just don't want people to get by us. They don't steal the ball. Now, I can't pin this solely on the stars. When a team is struggling, you generally look, are the stars playing well? Gobert and Mitchell both have been great this year. They've been all-stars. Now, when the all-star voting was coming out, I was kind of upset that they got 2. But they've both been playing at an all-star level. Gobert is 1st in the NBA in field goal percentage, 2nd in the NBA in rebounding, and 6th in blocks. And then Donovan Mitchell's just been a model of consistency all year, averaging about 24 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. It's been great. My problem with the Jazz is, their big signing, Mike Conley, the guy that was supposed to swing the needle for them a little bit, has been god-awful. I mean, terrible. Mike Conley has been, I can't describe how bad he's been. He's been so bad. He's having a career low with his shooting splits. He's shooting 39% from the field this year. That's like I can't even. That's like if Deion Waiters took a heat check every shot, like, type bad. He's shooting 35% from three, about league average, maybe a little lower than league average, and 78% from the line, which is his second worst in his career. So I don't know if it's just like he got old fast or what, but he's really been struggling. And you look at the Jazz, when they went on their big run, their big win streak, Mike Conley was coming off the bench, and that seemed to really work, having Mitchell be the primary playmaker, ball handler, and having Conley and Jordan Clarkson lead the second unit. But it just hasn't been good lately. He's averaging a career low in assists for a game, which the whole reason he was brought in by the Jazz was to be the guy who could take some of the burden off of Mitchell for like making plays for others and creating shots for other people. But he hasn't been doing that this year, and it's a little alarming if I'd be a Jazz fan. As I said, 4-7 in their last 11 games. They're currently playing the Celtics. If you're watching this video, or they're playing them as the day I'm recording. The game hasn't started yet, but it's just a dilemma, I think, that needs to be addressed soon. Because if this team wants to even get out of the first round, they have major problems. Bojan Bogdanovic just kind of cooled off. And when they play teams like the Rockets, teams like even the Celtics tonight, when those teams go small, what do the Jazz do with Gobert? Because they played the Rockets a couple nights ago. Gobert was basically invisible on the court. He only rebounded the ball 7 times. I think he only had 9 or 11 points. Like, it's just, you cannot be an all-star and be played off the court, you know? So I think they have a real crisis of what do they do? Do they start Conley? Do they start Royce O'Neal instead of Conley and be as good of a defensive team as they possibly can? Because he is their best defender, perimeter-wise. I personally would say bench Conley, have him and Clarkson command the second unit, and let Mitchell be what I think his career trajectory is pointing him towards, which is a primary ball handler. Not a true point guard, but in today's NBA, what is a true point guard? You know, a lot of these guards with the ball in their hand are score first anyway. And just let him make simple reads. And with Conley out there shooting the way he's shooting, teams aren't respecting him. It's harder for Mitchell to drive. And I've already talked to you about their defense. When they're behind in games, they're not going to just come take the ball from you or anything like that. They don't make you uncomfortable. You know, at any time, your perimeter guys have the advantage against Utah because they don't really scare you defensively. Now, these things might change, but I'm just talking as what I see right now. Jazz fans out there, y'all let me know what you guys think. Rest of the league, is this just a cold streak when they're playing better teams? Or is this like just more who the Jazz are? Just that team that, you know, has their moments, but at the end of the day, they're first or at best a second round exit. Y'all let me know.